Okay, so if you've ever felt just completely overwhelmed by diet advice, especially as you get older, you are definitely not alone.
Right. It changes constantly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It feels like every week there's some new superfood or, a danger food. And for those of us navigating life over 60, well, a lot of common beliefs about healthy eating might actually be quietly working against our bodies.
That's a really important point. What if some everyday carbs, things we think are fine, are actually undermining our health?
Yeah, while other carbs might hold the key to staying energetic and sharp.
Precisely.
So today, we're doing a deep dive into exactly that. It's not about cutting out all carbs, let's be
Yeah.
clear.
Not at all. It's
Okay.
about smart, strategic choices.
And honestly, some of these findings are, well, they're pretty eye-opening.
We're going to zero in on carbohydrates specifically. The 4 absolute best you should try to eat daily, and the 4 you really should avoid, particularly after 60.
Because the science seems pretty clear, right? The wrong carbs can kind of silently spike blood sugar, mess with gut health.
And trigger really serious issues like memory loss, muscle loss, even stroke. We'll look at insights from major studies, including one linking certain carbs to get this, 70% increased diabetes risk.
Wow. Okay, so our mission for this deep dive is to unpack the science-backed insights. We're pulling from leading health publications, research, including findings highlighted on platforms like Senior Zone.
We want to pull out the most important nuggets to help you make informed choices, choices that can genuinely impact your energy, your clarity, your overall well-being.
Okay, let's unpack this. We'll start with the 4 best carbs, ranking them from maybe least to most powerful. Sound good?
Let's do it.
All right, number 4 on the best list. And this one, it genuinely surprised me. Green peas.
Peas.
Yeah.
Humble peas.
Seems so simple, right?
Right.
But for those over 60, they're apparently a surprisingly powerful muscle-saving carb. Too many people just overlook them.
They really do defy expectations because unlike, quickly digested carbs like white rice or processed stuff, green peas are packed with resistant starch and soluble fiber. Think of them like a slow-release fuel.
Okay.
So they digest gradually, keep blood sugar stable, and they prevent those sudden insulin spikes that get more problematic after 60.
Ah, because our bodies just don't handle glucose as well then.
Exactly. But here's the really key part for seniors: muscle repair. Peas are one of the few high-carb veggies with leucine,
Leucine, that's an amino acid.
a critical branched-chain amino acid. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the on switch for building and maintaining muscle.
And that's important because after 60, we start losing muscle faster.
That's right. We enter a more catabolic state. Your body's breaking down muscle faster than it's building it. So leucine-rich carbs are crucial to kind of fight that trend.
That is fascinating. Makes you totally rethink peas. So we've just been overlooking this, a simple solution. I think I remember seeing a study, maybe 2022.
You probably think of the one in nutrients.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It found seniors eating green legumes, like peas, just 3 times a week preserved 14% more muscle mass over 2 years.
14%, even without extra exercise.
Even without adding exercise, yeah.
Yeah.
It just shows the power of consistent dietary choices.
Wow.
And peas do more. They've got gut protection, too. There's this phytonutrient, camel.
Camel?
Yeah, basically soothes the intestinal lining,
Yeah.
reduces inflammation. And when your gut's inflamed, well, it's harder to process even good carbs. Leads to things like IBS symptoms, gas,
Fatigue, maybe, brain fog.
all of that. Poor nutrient absorption can definitely manifest that way.
Okay, so how do we cook them to get the best bang for our buck? Don't boil them into oblivion.
Exactly. Don't boil them to mush. Light steaming is great. Then maybe finish with a bit of olive oil, some garlic. That helps maintain the fiber and nutrients.
And the olive oil helps absorption too, right?
Boosts absorption of fat-soluble nutrients, yes.
So green peas.
Yeah.
A strategic anabolic carb, fights fatigue, rebuilds muscle. Amazing. Okay, let's move on. Number 3.
Steel-cut oats.
Okay. A breakfast staple for many, but you're calling it a metabolic shield for seniors. And I think you mentioned it's not just any oats.
That's a really crucial distinction, yeah. We're not talking instant or quick cook oats. Those are highly processed.
Right, they hit you fast.
Steel-cut oats digest slowly. They release glucose gradually. This is a game changer after 60, when insulin resistance can creep in.
Gives your pancreas a break.
A much-needed break, exactly. Helps keep that hormonal balance for energy, mental sharpness, and the magic ingredient in minimally processed oats. It's a fiber called beta-glucan.
Beta-glucan. Okay, I've heard of that. What does it actually do besides just being fiber?
Oh, it's incredibly powerful. It forms this gel-like substance in your gut.
Okay.
And that gel slows down the absorption of sugar and cholesterol. There are dozens of studies, including a big 2023 meta-analysis showing just a bowl of steel-cut oats a day can lower LDL, the bad cholesterol, by up to 15% in older adults.
15%, that's significant.
Very. And maybe even more importantly, it significantly reduces C-reactive protein.
That's the inflammation marker, linked to arthritis, cognitive decline.
Exactly. Stroke risk, too. So it's way beyond just heart health.
So it's protecting your brain, your joints. What about the gut side of things? Mood.
Great question. Beta-glucan also stimulates your immune system, which tends to get a bit sluggish with age.
Makes sense.
And these oats, they're fantastic food for your good gut bacteria, especially bifidobacteria.
Ah, prebiotics.
Yes. And those bacteria then produce short-chain fatty acids. These heal the gut lining, help control cravings,
Yeah.
and even boost serotonin levels.
Serotonin. So mood too.
Better digestion, better moods, stronger immune resilience. All connected.
All from oats. Okay, sounds great, but how do we prepare them right? Avoid turning them into, like, a sugar bomb.
Good point. Definitely avoid loading up on brown sugar or sweetened milk. Cook with water or unsweetened almond milk.
Okay.
A sprinkle of cinnamon is great, actually helps with blood sugar control. And maybe top with berries or flax seeds for antioxidants.
Nice. So steel-cut oats, not just heart healthy, but actively protecting you from the inside out, helping with those sugar crashes, brain fog, sluggish mornings. Definitely worth considering.
Yeah.
Okay, moving up the list. Our number 2 pick for the best carbs for seniors. Sweet potatoes.
Ah, yes, a personal favorite.
Mine too. Delicious. And you argue they're one of the most complete senior-friendly carbs out there, especially compared to, say, a regular white potato. People often lump them together.
They do, but they're worlds apart, nutritionally speaking. White potatoes can cause that fast blood sugar spike with, frankly, limited nutrient return.
Right.
Sweet potatoes provide slow-burning, complex carbs, steady fuel, no overwhelming insulin response, which, as we've said, is crucial after 60 to avoid fatigue, blurry vision, even accelerated vascular damage.
And they've got that vibrant color.
Yeah,
That means something, right?
it means beta precisely. There was a 2022 study, I think, in Frontiers in Aging that linked regular intake of orange veggies like sweet potatoes in older adults to better memory, fewer colds, and lower rates of macular degeneration.
Memory and vision, that's huge.
It really is. It's the whole protective package they offer.
And I've heard they're good for the gut too. Is that the fiber?
It's more than just standard fiber. They're rich in resistant starch, especially if you cook them and then let them cool down a bit.
Cook and cool. Interesting. Why?
That process increases the resistant starch. And this stuff feeds your beneficial gut bacteria, which then produce butyrate.
Butyrate. Sounds important.
It's like super fuel for your gut cells. Reduces inflammation, strengthens the gut barrier, even lowers colon cancer risk. Seniors with digestion issues, leaky gut, IBS symptoms often see improvements swapping refined carbs for cooled sweet potatoes.
Wow. Any other benefits?
Yes, magnesium and potassium. Key electrolytes for muscle contraction, heart rhythm, things that can get depleted with age or certain meds.
Night cramps. Heart flutters, maybe.
Sweet potatoes could definitely be part of the nutritional solution. Yeah.
Okay, best way to prepare them then, to get all this goodness.
Keep it simple. Roast them whole, skin on. Definitely skip the marshmallows or heaps of sugar.
Yeah, good advice.
A little cinnamon or turmeric can actually amplify the benefits.
So choosing sweet potatoes isn't just satisfying a carb craving. You're actively strengthening your gut, stabilizing blood sugar, protecting your brain and vision. A true powerhouse.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, drum roll, please. The carb we've identified as the single most beneficial carbohydrate seniors can eat daily. Number 1 is lentils.
Lentils, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely number 1 in my book, too. They are just an incredible powerhouse for the aging body.
Why lentils specifically? What makes them top dog?
Okay, so they're loaded with complex starch, a ton of soluble fiber, and key minerals. This combination works to repair aging tissues, balance blood sugar, and the research suggests they can reduce chronic disease risk by over 30%.
30%.
It's significant. Unlike processed carbs that cause inflammation and energy crashes, lentils just stabilize everything. Glucose, digestion, even mood.
What's the mechanism there? Especially for the over 60 crowd.
The key is their incredibly low glycemic index. They cause virtually no blood sugar spike.
Really? None?
Practically none. Yet they provide really long-lasting energy. And that's critical because our mitochondria cell powerhouses slow down with age. Lentils offer fuel without metabolic stress.
Is there research backing that up?
Oh, yes. A big 2021 study in the British Journal of Nutrition showed older adults eating lentils just 3 times a week had significantly lower fasting glucose, better cholesterol ratios, and much better insulin sensitivity compared to those who didn't eat legumes.
That's impressive from such a simple food. What about the gut microbiome impact? We keep coming back to that.
It's central. And lentils are packed with prebiotic fiber. This stuff directly feeds your good gut bugs.
And we know diversity drops after 60.
Dramatically. And that drop is linked to immune problems, brain fog, joint pain. The fiber in lentils helps restore that balance. It nurtures your inner garden, so to speak.
And those happy bacteria do good things.
They produce anti-inflammatory compounds like propionate and acetate, protecting the gut lining. Stronger barrier means better nutrient absorption, better detox, less bloating, less inflammation.
And they're nutrient dense too, right? Filling in common gaps.
Exactly. Rich in iron for oxygen transport, folate for brain health and DNA repair, super important for women over 60. Helps protect memory and cardiovascular function. And magnesium for nerves, muscles, bone density.
Nutrients many seniors really lack.
Precisely.
So basically, lentils are doing everything white bread can't do and then some. Best way to get them in our diet.
Cook dried lentils. They're better than canned, which can be high in sodium.
Okay.
Use anti-inflammatory spices like cumin, garlic, bay leaf. Red lentils cook fastest. Brown and green are firmer. Add them to soups, stews, even cold salads. It's an easy daily carb that supports you in so many ways.
Okay, powerful stuff. Now that we know the best, we need to talk about the worst. The carbs seniors should really try to never touch. And number 4 might be controversial because it's such a staple. White sandwich bread.
Ah, yes, the dangerous staple. It fools so many people because it isn't, overtly sweet like candy.
Right, you think bread, not sugar bomb?
Exactly. But most people over 60 grew up eating white bread daily, toast, sandwiches.
Sure.
But today's version, it's usually made from bleached, ultra-refined flour. It digests even faster than pure sugar.
Better than sugar, wow.
Yeah. Creates this massive glucose spike in minutes. And those spikes, as we've discussed, are much tougher on the body after 60. Pancreas slows down, cells become insulin resistant, blood sugar stays high for longer.
And get this, I saw a 2021 study, I think Diabetes Care, over 8,000 adults over 60, daily white bread raised type 2 diabetes risk by 29% and heart disease by 16%.
That's right. It creates this sort of silent storm inside. That cumulative damage.
Right.
Systematically damages blood vessels, inflames nerves, basically starves brain cells.
And the lack of fiber.
Starves your good gut bacteria. Weakens the immune system, slows digestion, promotes inflammation system-wide. Plus, most white breads have added sugars, hydrogenated oils, those enriched flours. It's just tricking your body while fueling disease.
So your daily toast could literally be fighting against you. What's the clear solution?
You've got to switch. Look for 100% sprouted grain or stone ground whole grain bread. Check the label, at least 3 grams of fiber per slice.
Read the label carefully. Wheat isn't enough.
Not unless it says whole wheat first ingredient. Multigrain can be misleading too if you want steady energy, focus, protection. Ditching the white bread is huge.
Okay, number 3 on the worst list. Rice cakes.
Oh, the classic diet food deception.
Right. Light, crunchy, marketed as healthy, but you're saying they're misleading and dangerous for seniors?
Extremely misleading.
Yeah.
They offer almost zero fat, zero fiber, zero real nutrition. They hit your bloodstream like pure sugar.
Like sugar.
Yeah, digests in minutes. Sharp glucose spike, then the crash.
Mm-hmm.
And after 60, those repeated spikes. They increase risk for diabetes, memory loss, muscle wasting. Most are puffed white rice glycemic index over 80.
80. Higher than table sugar itself.
Higher than table sugar. A 2020 study showed foods like puffed rice raised post-meal blood sugar over 200% in seniors compared to whole grains.
200%.
That massive spike forces a huge insulin dump, but aging cells don't respond well. Blood sugar stays high, longer inflammation, oxidative stress, nerve damage.
And they don't even fill you up, do they?
Not at all. No fiber, protein, or fat means no satiety signals. You feel hungry again quickly, snack more, often gain weight ironically.
Even if you think you're eating light. And the flavored ones.
Even worse, often have maltodextrin, artificial sweeteners, loads of sodium, raises blood pressure, damages the gut lining. Even plain ones are just empty starch feeding the wrong gut bacteria.
So if you're reaching for rice cakes as a smart snack, time to rethink.
Definitely. Swap them for a small handful of raw almonds, maybe, or whole grain toast with avocado. Those actually support blood sugar, muscle, gut health. Rice cakes are just accelerating the problems you want to avoid.
Okay, moving on. The number 2 worst carb for seniors. packaged breakfast cereals.
Ah, the cereal aisle trap.
Colorful boxes, claims of fortification. But you're saying most of them, from cornflakes to granola clusters, are dangerous.
Very dangerous, yes. The manufacturing process strips the grains of natural fiber and germ. What's left is fast-burning starch.
And because they're puffed or flaked.
They absorb like pure glucose. Instant sugar spike. Massive insulin dump, which again is more dangerous after 60 with slower insulin response and cell resistance. Result: prolonged high blood sugar, inflammation, fatigue, brain fog.
There was that 2019 study, Journal of Gerontology. Adults over 60 eating processed cereal 5+ times a week had a 22% higher risk of metabolic syndrome.
Exactly. High blood pressure, high blood sugar, belly fat, accelerating decline.
Right.
And there's more hidden harm: phosphates and emulsifiers. Many cereals contain these. They can damage the gut lining, deplete crucial minerals like calcium and magnesium.
Leading to weaker bones, tighter muscles, higher fall risk.
That's the connection, yes. And here's the kicker. Even cereals labeled whole grain or fiber-rich, often loaded with hidden sugars. Corn syrup, barley malt, fruit juice concentrate.
Sneaky names.
Some have over 20 grams of sugar per serving.
And if you use low-fat milk, you're often just adding more sugar, right, without fat to slow it down.
Yeah, double whammy, exactly.
Yeah.
The fix: ditch the boxes.
That's a better quick option.
Unsweetened Greek yogurt with chia seeds. A boiled egg with real whole grain toast. Packaged cereal might seem convenient, but it's often the first step towards energy crashes and sluggishness all day.
Okay, we've arrived at number 1. The absolute most dangerous carbohydrate you can put in your body after 60. And it's a popular one: French fries.
The metabolic hand grenade, yeah. Golden, crispy, irresistible for many.
But quietly robbing your energy, clarity, lifespan. Why so bad?
It's the devastating combination.
Yeah.
High refined starch, deep fried in inflammatory oils, stripped of fiber, loaded with salt, often chemical preservatives. It damages nearly every system.
It's not just a potato anymore.
Not even close. Potatoes alone have a high GI, spiked blood sugar. But then you cut them thin, deep fry them in, frankly, toxic reused vegetable oils, add salt, flavorings. Metabolically devastating.
You mentioned a study, Nutrition and Aging 2023. What stood out to you most from that regarding the danger for seniors?
Great question. The biggest thing for me was the impact on vascular health and insulin resistance. It found seniors eating fried potatoes just twice a week had a 36% higher stroke risk
36%.
and were twice as likely to develop insulin resistance and vascular stiffness. People focus on calories or fat, but the damage to blood vessels and sugar handling, that's the quiet killer.
And the gut.
Destroyed. Reused oils often contain acrylamide, a harmful byproduct of high-heat frying starchy foods. It weakens the gut barrier, promotes inflammation body-wide, reduces absorption of vital nutrients like B12, magnesium, folate.
Nutrients your brain and muscles desperately need.
Exactly. And the salt, often over 300 milligrams sodium per serving. And who eats just one serving?
Right.
That overload stiffens arteries, raises blood pressure, overworks kidneys.
So carb load, inflammatory oils, sodium, perfect storm for fatigue, brain fog, swollen ankles, declining heart function. It's shocking.
It is. And what makes them extra dangerous is the emotional comfort factor, right? Social eating, takeout. They're hard to resist.
True.
But the toll on metabolism, cognition, circulation is severe. After 60, every bite either helps you heal or pushes you towards disease.
So if you love potatoes, baked sweet potato wedges, olive oil, herbs.
A fantastic, genuinely healthy alternative.
Yeah.
But if fries are still regular, understand they are consistently robbing your energy, clarity, and potentially years off your life.
Okay, let's bring this all together, connecting it back to your daily life. The core message seems really clear. Your body, after 60 processes carbs differently.
Totally differently than in younger years.
Those fast-digesting, fiberless carbs, they create this internal storm, blood sugar spikes, pancreas exhaustion, inflammation.
And over time, that storm leads to slower thinking, weaker muscles, unstable energy, much higher risk of stroke, diabetes, early frailty.
And this is the crucial takeaway. The right carbs are your allies.
Your most powerful allies, potentially. Lentils, skill-cut oats, sweet potatoes, they're packed with slow fuel, muscle nutrients, gut healing fibers. They can actually help reverse some age-related changes.
Exactly. These strategic carbs stabilize blood sugar, feed your good gut bacteria, keep your body in repair mode, not breakdown mode.
Eat them daily. And they can sharpen your mind, protect joints, help you maintain energy, vitality, independence.
The truth really seems to be, every carb you eat is either speeding up aging or actively helping to slow it down. There's really no middle ground, is there?
Not really. That's why consciously choosing the right ones And strategically cutting the worst ones is so empowering for your health after 60.
So remember, you don't need to give up carbs entirely. You just need to give up the ones that are quietly working against you. As you go about your day, maybe just consider, which carb choice will you make next? The one that moves you closer to the energy, clarity, and independence you deserve after 60. What stands out to you most from this deep dive? Something to think about.